Welcome, everyone. My name is Michael Evans. I am the president of the BNIC network. We operate the CPIN, the Closed Private Investment Network, and we are proud to bring you our weekly series, Let's Talk About It, where we have a different discussion topic every Sunday that affects Black people economically. And so before we start officially, I need to share the disclaimer. So, and let me read it briefly. The information provided in the discussion is strictly for educational purposes only. Nothing presented should be construed as financial, legal, or investment advice. Members and participants are strongly encouraged to consult with licensed financial advisors, attorneys, and tax professionals before making any significant financial decisions or investments. Although the material may be presented by professionals with decades of experience in business, finance, real estate, and related fields, these individuals may not be licensed or registered with any regulatory authority. Their insights are intended to inform and empower, not to replace professional, individualized guidance. By continuing to attend, you acknowledge that you are solely responsible for your own financial decisions and agree to hold CPIN and its affiliates harmless for any liabilities or outcomes resulting from the application of this educational content. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Antoine Hines.
To me?
To me? You.
Okay. Now that you got the boring stuff out the way. Welcome, everybody. Definitely. Let me hear some hellos. Daniel, can you say hello, Sally?
Yes,
Sam?
sir. Here.
What's
hello,
up?
Hello.
Hello.
What up,
Hello.
Sam? Morel?
Hey, what's up?
Hello.
All right. And then I got my co-host, my guest speaker, my homegirl Lola with me. Go ahead, Lola.
Hello.
So I'm here. I want to basically have some fun with us. I want to have a discussion. It's not really a discussion. It's a talking. Let's go ahead and just hang out like we're talking, because I just spent my 50th birthday yesterday. Yes. So I want to be able to hang out with y'all a little bit. I hung out till like 7 o'clock this morning. We were talking. I got a whiteboard behind me too, if need be, and so like that. But my birthday consists of having fun and everything, talking. I had a lot of food and everything. I ordered some ribs and some eggs and some pancakes. I like brunch food at 3 o'clock in the morning. From 2 or 3 Black restaurants. So that was one thing. And then I had a birthday party. My brother's birthday was July 3rd. My birthday was July 5th. And so my brother's birthday involved almost 7 Black businesses that I'm gonna talk about later on too, and everything. So definitely when we talk about group economics, we're just talking about Black people supporting Black people, sharing things and doing stuff together, and not always just money. And so group economics is what we're talking about tonight. If it's a myth or not, So let's see what it is and everything. And I'm gonna be talking to everybody inside this room. All right, y'all good with that? Anybody else? Everybody good?
Yeah, we good.
Yeah, we good.
All right. What up, Lacey? What up? Was it Terrell in the truck? What up, peace, bro? Miss Teresa. All right. So I'm about to have my thank you. I did put together a presentation from Gamma AI. I'm all about technology and everything. My background is in mathematics, nuclear engineering, philosophy, psychology. I got a few degrees and a few masters and stuff. And I've worked businesses, entrepreneurship programs with the Black Accelerator Program, NAASP, Urban League, HBCUs. I got 7 interns doing stuff with AI right now. So definitely, like Mike said, I got a lot of background, but I'm not an expert. Don't take and some of the things. I do my own things. My brother does a lot of business. I work with Mike. Mike and me been hooked up for the past 3 or 4 years. That's group economics too. We'll talk about that later too. But let me go ahead and share my screen. And I'm not going to go line by line and everything. So but I'm gonna show you all this stuff. If you need me to share this with you, we can share this with you too. All right, let me share my screen. And Lola's gonna help me. Anything you want to say along the way, Lola, go ahead and throw it inside there too. So, and then Mike, if you want to throw anything inside the chat while we're talking, any things that you want to share, any links or whatever like that, or even words and stuff, I encourage you. All right. So this is the presentation I made by Gamma AI. I went and me, Lola, and Mike were talking about what we want to do. And so I put it inside my ChatGPT. I took it from ChatGPT and I put it inside of Gamma AI, and it created a whole presentation. So I'm gonna give this to y'all real quick and stuff like that. So group economics, myth or misunderstood reality. Examine the collective ventures, trauma trust, and cultural skepticism in African American economic cooperation. All right, let's see what we got. Oops, why isn't that going forward? Oh, there you go. Contents, yeah. All right, so this is historical stuff and everything like that, from enslaved communities pooling resources for freedom purchases to post-Civil War cooperative stores. African Americans established collective economic practices out of survival, necessity, and systemic exclusion from mainstream financial systems. So they were already coming together. You see Marcus Garvey down there. You talk about post-Civil War things. Then we get into a modern evolution. Contemporary Black cooperative economics evolved through civil rights era initiatives, from freedom quilting bee to food from the hood, demonstrating sustained commitment to collective economic empowerment despite varying degrees of success. Freedom Quilt, student-led cooperatives for food, and the Black Panthers right there, definitely. We can't take it all from what white people say about what the Black Panthers were about. Go ahead and read your history of yourself and everything, see what they really did around the community, how they really circulated the food, how they really made sure tutoring and stuff that was going on in the community. That is cooperative economics, also group economics. Current business landscape, as you see, Black businesses, revenue, job supported, VC funding, but less than 1% of VC funding to Black businesses. We're talking about the challenges. We're talking about not getting funding. We're talking about not getting the actual revenue that we need out here. So when we go from left to right, systemic challenges, persistent barriers limit Black business success despite entrepreneurial drive, higher failure rates, limited access to traditional funding, systemic lending discrimination. Yes, white supremacy lives and definitely goes against us on a daily basis. Government, although you know this administration right now, programs like Canada's FACE attempt to address funding gaps. Black Entrepreneurship Loan Fund launched. Over 60 million in approved loans. Controversy over effective independency, depending on the different loans from the government and stuff. Cultural impact, mixed community responses to collective economic initiatives emerge. Questions around long-term sustainability strategies, debates over loans versus equity, community self-reliance versus government dependence. So all those things up in the air on all three of these ranges, from systemic challenges, government intervention, and cultural impact. Then three critical challenges: failed ventures, definitely, not just business in general, but Black businesses, insufficient capital, and business planning expertise. Expertise, meaning that we can have the vision, we can have the idea, but do we actually have the expertise to do the planning and putting it out there? There's so many other businesses out there that we have consultants, we have insurance people, we have all these different people who have the expertise, but are we actually tapping into them? Lack of sustained revenue model development, competitive competition from established mainstream businesses. Then we go to the next one: trauma trust, intergenerational mistrust from historical exploration, fear of financial vulnerability, leadership accountability concerns. And definitely we've gone through trauma because of all the hangings and all the just killings of Black bodies on the streets and stuff. Our whole families, all the things that have happened over the past 400 years, trauma and stuff. Have we even healed from that trauma? And how are we going forward with the trauma that we're still dealing with, and are we working together on that trauma? So that gives that existence of that myth of can we even work together? Cultural skepticism, individual versus collective success, right there, the debate. Government dependency concerns. Are we still on food stamps? Are we still dependent on the government to take us to the next level or not? Or just keep us in the same place all the time? Mainstream integration versus separation. Are we coming together? Or are we still being siloed? Crab in the barrel mentality, pushing each other down. Those are those things that we're talking about. Those are the things that's out there. Black entrepreneurs are competing and winning regardless of the odds. So that's a quote right there. Now, this says the capability question. Critics argue that government funded Black entrepreneurship programs inadvertently precipitate victim narratives, suggesting Black entrepreneurs cannot compete independently. However, evidence shows Black business owners consistently overcome systemic barriers through determination, innovation, and community support networks. I'm going to say that little part right there again. Consistently overcome systemic barriers through determination, innovation, and community support networks. Right there. So consistently. Now, this is a SWOT analysis right here, just over group economics and stuff. I'm not going to go too deep in it, but if you know about group a SWOT analysis, you see the strengths, you see the opportunities, you see the weakness, you see the threats. Now, it's just going from both of them. So our strengths, community solidarity. So Juneteenth, we just had, Black History Month. We know how to come together. We know how to have a cookout. We know how to support each other when we're having fun and everything. So community solidarity is definitely a strength for us to do that. Now, our opportunities, digital economy. We have technology as we're using technology right now. This is an opportunity. Get into AI, get into blockchain, getting into all the different chat GPTs and stuff like that. Knowing how to go ahead and risk different things, real estate, stocks, businesses, utilizing the abilities out there of the digital age. We're in a new age now, and we need to make sure we get into it. We need to create it. We need to be involved in it. We need to be connecting together around it. So it's an opportunity for us to make it a strength for the Black community. I'm going to go with weakness. Trust deficits. Systemic barriers include discriminatory lending, limited network access, market competition, and regulatory challenges. I'm not go deep in there, but the trust right there. And I said the crab in the barrel mentality. That is our weakness. Us pushing each other away. Us not looking at another Black person's website and telling them, you know what? You got some misspelling on it. Your link is not working over there. Going to a restaurant and everything, to a Black restaurant, and then saying, you know what? That food wasn't right, bro, and everything. I'm just trying to come to you straight up and everything. If you go ahead and do this and do that, let me hook you up. Let me talk to you. We don't do that sometimes. Or can we do that even more? That's our weakness, trusting each other and supporting each other. Now it has the threats, systemic barriers, and I would throw in historical systemic barriers, and they're out there. White supremacy lives. We got a white supremacist inside the White House. We have multiple things against us. So those are threats, but those doesn't mean that we're defeated. So evaluation requires examining historical successes, contemporary failures, and sustainable development potential. So we have to look at the historical barriers in order to go forward. But we also got to look at our successes in the past and the successes right now so we can go forward. And then look at who is doing it right so we can actually create a model and go forward. Just like what CPIN is doing, just like what Lola, Mike, and us are doing right here. We want to bring you to the table so we can do this together. And we can make sure that we go together forward as a team, as a group, as a community. Loan versus equity debate, structural problems, alternative approaches. Definitely, I'm not going to read all this, but loans are not always good and everything, especially if they actually hold you back. Now, if you got good debt, that's good debt. It's a different conversation. Like I said, I'm not an expert, so I'm not going to go deep into that as you read that. Now, success rate reality. It says 68% survival challenge. Historical data suggests higher failure rates for minority-owned businesses due to structural barriers and limited resources. Structural barriers and limited resources. There are Black businesses out there that have the skill set and the funding and the opportunities to help you with the structural barriers as well as the limited resources. In conclusion, not a myth. Now, this is what AI said, that it's not a myth, but requires strategic evolution. Black group economics represents viable economic strategy requiring structural reform, equity-based funding, community trust building. Mike, can you put that bottom part in the chat? Structural reform, because I want y'all to go home with these three main things: structural reform, equity-based funding, community trust building. Those are the things I want us to walk away with tonight, even if you feel it is a myth or not a myth, and we'll talk about where we feel like where it's at right now. So that is I think that's the whole presentation, yes. So Lola, it's a myth or not? What is it?
No, it's not a myth. As a matter of fact, it used to be a vibrant and very common reality. We couldn't eat, have clothes to put on, sell anything, make any money, function if we weren't operating inside of cooperative economics, inside of group economics. You said we all we got. Well, we were all we had, right? Because there was no mixing of races. And so we come from a space where we are were rooted and foundationally rooted in cooperative economics. No, it's not a myth. I think it's got a little jostled over time, right? We talk about trusting each other and we say things, and we could keep it real because I see who's on here. We have a tendency, you said it in your presentation, if you go to a business and I just came from a Black-owned, I'm not going to name the name of the place, but a Black-owned restaurant that I've been affiliated with since they opened, young Black man and his wife. They came here from another state, and it's a beautiful restaurant and it's awesome. But I went into the bathroom and the bathroom was a mess. So because I know that brother, I got on my phone and I texted him and said, yo, your food is always great. Your staff is outstanding and friendly, but this bathroom is a mess. And to me, that's unacceptable. And I know to you it is too. So I just wanted to let you know. I ain't want to go tell nobody else about it. I'm not going to spread no rumors. I'm just letting you know. We have to do that for each other. That's cooperative economics as well, like you said. So yes, it exists, but we have to foster it and nurture it more than we have been.
I like the two words you said, foster and nurture. Foster and nurture. It's one thing to nurture and bring it to life, but you got to foster it. I think sometimes we touch it here and there, but are we fostering it? Are we making sure? Are we developing it? Are we really making it come to life? And are we being intentional about our own group economics strategy towards others so they can do the same thing towards us?
That's big. That intentionality piece, that's huge. My mom was teasing me, I think about a year ago, during the pandemic. We all were able to have some time to research some stuff. And I stopped buying makeup. Everything I made sure was by us, for us, right? For us, by us, everything. And so I even have a picture of my vanity because my makeup, my skincare, everything was, and my t-shirts, like, even like everything I wear. My mom said, you really do support people, right? You really do support your Black businesses that are around you, but do they buy your stuff? Right? And the answer to that, to a great degree, is no. I could post a picture of my food. We keeping 100 here. You know what I'm saying? I could post a picture of a meal that I make on social media and I'll get 150 likes, right? Or me posing and I'll get, 300 likes. But if I post a link about us doing something like this, about us getting together, about us locking arms, about us making money, you was just crying you can't pay your rent. But if I post something that you could lock onto, there's y'all are watching, we can tell that now, right? But you're not responding. And so we have to be intentional. I love that word is huge. I think if anything, that's my theme for this year, right? We have to be intentional about what we do and how we do it if we really want to make a difference.
All right. So I'm going to give you a little example of that intentionality of my experience just past few days, and then we're going to get to hearing from other people and stuff. So like I just told everyone earlier, my brother's birthday was July 3rd, just passed. My birthday was Saturday. and stuff just passed and stuff. And definitely, I was overwhelmed by the group economics that he showed and everything. We've been entrepreneurs growing up for years and stuff like that. I had a recycling business in college and everything. I had a beeper business in college. Me and my partner had beepers and stuff. Y'all old enough in here. Y'all know about beepers. but but definitely we circulated the funding. We did things together. So my brother's birthday, he has a mansion. I call it a mansion, but it's like a 4-story house here inside in Maryland, and so which Lola hasn't come and seen yet. I'm just throw that out there. But she's down the block. But anyway, he has a whole big old house and everything. He's been planning this for a few months and stuff. So he doesn't hire individuals. He hires people with companies, black people with companies. So he hired a DJ company. He hired a security company. He hired a bud tender. We had bud and everything for y'all. We had a bud tender company. Well, it was the weed guy who came has a website and everything. I'm gonna just say it like that. I mean, look, delivered it to our door. Delivered it to our door. He got a website and everything, his own LLC. Look, I'm being real. So we got his own business and everything. We had a whole a hostess and everything. We had like I can tell it's a party on the first floor. It was bedrooms at the top, but then on the bottom floor we call it Sin City. So he had two uh uh madams, if you want to call that had so it was a gentleman's club at the bottom floor. But we did yes. So the reason why I'm saying it was about 7 businesses. So his money, his black money, because he works for a big data center company and everything, he took his money, spent it on these 7 companies. These 7 companies came here and did work with us and stuff. Now the women, same thing, circulating money and stuff like that. Now he also works with other businesses. He's a consultant like me, so he makes sure these 7 other businesses get notice from other people. And so he circulates the information, he circulates the resources. Like we literally circulated once throughout the night. Sorry, that's another. But it was group economics from the beginning to the end to all the way. Even the security company had a transportation company. So definitely all that. And they were all black businesses. So I want to tell y'all the whole point is that he could have Googled it and got any of those other companies from anywhere or whatever like that. But he intentionally found those companies, supported them, and gave them feedback. I'm not gonna tell everybody it was great. He gave them actual feedback and so for what they did and everything. Everybody wasn't perfect and so, but the whole point is how do we share group economics, not just by funding, but by sharing opportunities too. All right, we're at 8:30, and so that's why I want to open up the floor. Is that okay with you, Mike?
Yeah, and we're going to have Sam be the first person with a question or a comment, and we're going to limit each person's time to about 5 minutes.
We got a timer on here. I thought we was going to use the timer. I like the timer.
All right. I'll watch my clock. Thank you all. Happy birthday, my brother. This is really a good meeting. The only question that I had, and I agree with just about everything you had to say. I've been in this business since 1992, and the numbers hadn't changed. So if the numbers hadn't changed in over 30 years, it's something that we have to do as a group. We have to change how we engage, how we do business with each other. So my question for everyone on here, I believe there's 18 plus people here. We can change the dynamic tonight if 18 people here says, hey, I don't care what I got to do, I'm putting up $5,000 to put into a fund to move forward a mission to get a business started. Like that young lady was talking about, that couple that has that business. I'm sure they want to expand. I'm sure they need capital. I'm sure they want to do some other things with their business, but they can't go to the bank and get a loan. They can't go to friends and family and get a loan. The only way that's going to happen if it's us in the community that put our heads together and says, hey, look, instead of us talking about it, let's be about it. Thank you very much.
So you're saying that we could be the bank?
We have to be the bank. We
Okay.
have to
Okay.
be the bank because the banks have too many requirements, too many restrictions. I'm a principal real estate broker for 30 years. I'm also a capital broker for more than 25 years.
Okay.
I cannot tell you how many guidelines that there are that a lot of our entrepreneurs just are not prepared to overcome, not because they're not good, not because they're not savvy business people. They just don't have the systems in place to be able to show that bank or that entity that they're a viable candidate. But when you look at their business and you see the
Mhm.
lines out the door, I mean, you can see the opportunity. I see
Mhm.
it everywhere I go. There are black owned businesses that have been around for 20, 30 years with one location. Why haven't they expanded to two or three or four? They cannot get the capital. And we, as entrepreneurs and people within our community, we need the group together that says, hey, we're going to focus on one business. Find one business, is 18 people on here, review the business, do the inspection, do all the stuff that we need to do. And then they say, hey, you know what? We're going to write a check for $50,000 for this business. And now we can create an opportunity for that business to grow. And of course, you'll get paid your money back because we're going to do our due diligence. But we have to be the bank. We can't wait for the bank to come to us.
Well, Sam, one question. So, is it only the capital that black business needs, or is there other things that black business may need?
So, from the things that I see, there are other things,
Okay.
but they're immaterial because if you got a good product and you got the capital, you can be taught how to streamline and come up with a system that is going to make sure that your business is profitable. But right now, the number one thing is if you don't have the money, it doesn't matter how good your product is. It
Hmm.
doesn't matter what systems you don't have. If you can't keep the doors open or you can't expand or get the things that you need in order for that business to grow, I mean, you're out of luck. And that's
Yes.
just happening for most black businesses all across America. I travel probably 25 to 30 states a year, preferably in the black belt of the United States. And I cannot tell you how many black owned businesses that I walk in and there's nobody sitting in there. The only
Hmm.
time that they have somebody is when it's a football game that is like a homecoming or some HBCU event or some major national event or someone died. But on the regular days during the week, their business is empty. So
Yep.
it's not that they're not good entrepreneurs, it's they're undercapitalized. And capital will solve, I would say, about 90% of the issues that most entrepreneurs have is capital.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
can I jump in for
Go
a
ahead.
quick
Go
minute?
ahead, Lola.
So, Lord have mercy, Antoine. I was looking at Jamal's name. So I agree with you, Sam. Not that you need me to, but I agree with you. I think though, hand in hand in that, and even especially in startup businesses, even before that, we need some education and we need some mentorship and accountability. And once people get to where they got to be, where they want to be, once they have success, we got to be okay with leaning back and telling them, hey, you know what, you got to get your D&B, you got to put all your stuff together, you got to get your ducks in a row so that when you show up for the money is there. And I see somebody saying it's difficult to have the support. It is difficult, but it's difficult because we don't want to give our time. You understand what I'm saying? There are tons of us who have, and I do it all the time, so I can speak to it. There are tons of us who give back, who need someone to give back to teach us how to get our financial affairs in order. Because what I've seen a few times, and I'm sure you have too, Sam, is people getting the capital, and this is any color business, and not knowing how to function. Well, that wasn't my timing because that was Sam talking. But I got the umbrella, the hook. But not know you can get the money, but if you don't have your infrastructure in
Yes.
order, if you don't have your mindset about how you handle money, how you hire, how you market,
Yes.
how you manage it, what's your CRM, what's your systems like? If you don't have your systems in place when you get that money, the money's gonna go right out the door.
Yeah, so that's
So
I agree.
exactly what I was about to say
Yeah.
too.
yeah.
As we go, as we shift to Teresa and everything, one of the things I work with Pharrell's program, Black Ambition, I'm one of the reviewers of the applications, and many of those applications get put to the side because of their team. They don't have the right people on their team and they know the expertise. And then when they have the interviews, they don't have the right mindset to talk about the other pieces and parts and the recruitment and the long term and the financials and the, all those other pieces that go to a big business to actually expand and scale. they put those applications to the side and everything. You may have a great idea. You may have made some money, but if you don't have the right team, you don't have the right intellect, you don't have the right business to scale for me to put my money in place for you.
Could I just like one thing before we go to Miss Teresa?
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I have a client in South Florida that had no experience in the pizzeria business. An opportunity came about where someone was selling a business. He knew nothing about the pizza business, had no education about it or nothing. He was a former, educator in the area. Long story short, he got the capital, he purchased the business, and he made over $1 million.
Mm.
So he didn't have the right team. He didn't have anybody in place, but he had access to the capital to be able to take advantage of opportunity. And along the way, he learned because what he got was professionals like you that are on this call.
Yes.
People around him that say, hey, look, do this, do that. But before you can get all the, so you can get all the education, there's a lot of people that have college degrees and PhDs and master's degrees and not doing anything with those things. No, nothing disrespectful to those people, but it's not really the education and the environment that we're in. When you look at a 24, 25-year-old person is building $1 billion business using AI, we got to shift our thinking.
Yes, they are. Social media has done it. All right, let's go ahead, Miss Teresa. Start our timer, Mike. No.
Where'd she go?
Oh, we lose Miss Teresa?
Yeah, she dropped off.
All
So,
right,
and to Sam, I didn't mean, I meant what you said. I meant the support. I didn't mean collegiate education, because that I'm not saying it has its merit, but I definitely was not referring to that. People can, but I think if you don't have the right support around you, I have seen so many businesses get the opportunity. And also, if that pizza business was structured properly and it was set up well, you could buy it and still just get some help. You know what I'm saying? But and you're right. If given enough money, you can absolutely get the support and the help you need as you move along. I just want us to show up prepared, and I want us to give back to each other to show up prepared more often. That's it.
Okay.
Look at Jamal.
Yeah, what's good? What's good with y'all?
Chilling, bro.
I'm digging what y'all coming with. Y'all coming with a little bit more, talking in situations instead of just laying out plans, whatever. And that's cool with me. But the big thing that I saw y'all touch on that was really cool was blockchain. You got to be up on blockchain technology and Web3 technology. Reason being is you don't got to get no bank loan. You own your own IP as soon as you step on it. You know what I'm saying? You own your own content as soon as you step on it. The thing is, with our people, we miss the wave, miss the internet, miss the cell phone. We can't miss AI. We can't miss this one. We can't miss blockchain. We can't miss Web3 because they're going to be connected to our normal businesses anyway. I want y'all to look up my brother Arnold Hayes on LinkedIn. He's doing some things in blockchain technology that's off this fucking chart. He's just doing this thing in a way where he is bringing so much to the space, allowing us to make businesses on it. All right. I know y'all may sometimes not like my approach, right? And I don't really care. It is what it is. My thing is, with what I'm doing, y'all need cats like me. Y'all need cats like me and the other brother that came up that's not looking at, well, we gonna make this plan. We need the capital for our business. And also, black business is not just dealing with black people. Come on, I'm living proof of this shit. You can go to Dubai and make money. You can go to Tulum and make money. You can go to so many places in South Africa and make money. There's so many places us as black people can get with other black people. Okay, it's not knocking my people. Pulling from this country is like looking for a diamond in coal. Keeping it 100. We got a lot of black businesses that do well. They strong in their spot. They put their best foot forward. But it's always some type of anchor that keep that business stuck in just a certain stage where they can't evolve and they can't sell, right? Our opportunity in these three, blockchain, Web3, and AI, that's like a lotto ticket. But it's guaranteed to hit if you're doing what you're supposed to do as far as the strategy of it. Doing regular stuff, I got to pay back $3 trillion as a black person. Our nation spends $3 trillion, and we don't own nothing. We have to start looking at this as a mathematical equation, not as a cultural thing. Look at it as a math equation. What do we have to do to turn the black scale of wealth to where it is reality? If I'm looking at a brother that did it before me, he already telling me I could do it. So the mathematics is there. What did he do? Not the emotional stuff. That ain't got nothing to do with that. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying about this as a black person, I'm dealing with my own people. That's cool. And I'm real enough to say it. If you ain't on my level, I ain't dealing with you. You're not going to bring me down to a level while I got to start over to try to save you. Let's take the ones that want to go. And the other ones come along, they catch on to it, all well and good. I ain't got to get that neither. But I'm not wasting time on men that ain't rocking with me in the right way. They ain't got their mental straight. They ain't got what they need to move forward with a business. That's not going to network. I can drop people that you can talk to right now about whatever you want to talk to. Nationwide, Airbnb arbitrage, comment, whatever you want to do. Mark T, me and Mark T got a little brother came in with the No Backboard Basketball Association. We talking some thing on some comic stuff. So you're already proving our value of song art as connecting with people, right? I ain't got no issue with y'all. What I'm gonna tell you, y'all need soldiers like me. I'm saying me. It ain't about everybody else. When I'm talking about myself, I'm doing this for real. I'm in the trenches. I'm taking brothers with me, but I understand the energy that y'all putting into trying to save everybody. It's a fascinating thing, and it's a beautiful thing. But we all ain't gonna go. We all not gonna go. We gotta put them brothers. Look for them snipers. Look for the ones that's really putting, especially these young kids. These young kids on this AI stuff. Look for them snipers. Then
Right
you
there.
put your army together. Then we elders come in as the generals, and they could be the special forces out there. It's a war out here.
Yes.
I'm for real with this.
Yes.
It's a war out here. You better realize what's happening at this big bill trash. It's targeted to take us out. It's nothing wrong with making sure our black businesses want to come up and be good. But I'm giving you 100 advice. Doing it in this country and this country alone is looking for diamonds and coal. You know what it is, Antoine. You ran down your list. It's hard to meet people like that.
And it's all about strategy, like you said.
Yeah. I kicked down the door so we could be seen. Sometimes you may not like the presentation of coming, but I'm coming anyway. But so far, what y'all doing, and no disrespect, I know what y'all doing. Sometimes I got I might have my caveats with it, but y'all do good thing. But that's where I'm at with it, man. Just not miss this
I
next
love it, bro. I love it, bro.
Holler at me.
I don't have the. I love it. I love it. I'm New I love it because we got to bring it to the table.
So somebody can do their talk, man. 15 minutes left.
Yes, we got to bring it to the table. We got to bring it however we want it. The point is, everybody in this room is different. Everyone can bring it in a different way. But if we bring it together, bring our own skill sets. I got some of y'all know I used to work with Blacks in Technology Foundation. Got over 100,000 Black people in technology. I got like 5 tech people on my team. I don't have to learn all the different AI platforms. I got other people to learn that stuff and everything. Mike know all the financial stuff. I don't need to learn all the financial stuff. Mike got that in his head. We have to invest in the other people that's out there. They already got the game. They already got the model. Why not bring it together? Why not bring in have an investment club and bring people together and have people who know about investment clubs help to actually make sure that investment, our group economics comes together and sprouts and bursts fruit and everything and be able to can't do it for everybody, just like he said, but we can have diamonds in the rough and continuously growing more diamonds and go from place to place. All right. So thank you. And I'm a mathematician, so I love the math equation. All right, Ms. Teresa.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So what you got? What to the group economics?
So group economics, very timely. Earlier I was scrolling on Facebook and I saw a post about Black family reunions, down 47% from the 90s. And the citing was the loss of our elders and family conflict. But behind the loss of our elders is a group of people who had things like pensions and practice cooperative group economics. And sometimes even that could lead into family conflicts. Giving somebody money to do a reunion, part of the money being missing, or this and this, or people just not having the money to go, can't save. A lot of different family dynamics. But what I think about is how Motown started. That particular Black family had annual reunions, and they had an accountant in the family who created a ledger to keep track of all the money that the family members would contribute and had a system where all the family members contributed consistently. So if a family member was about to lose a house, they had funding to get into the family fund that they use for the reunions to also provide emergency assistance for the family and for business startups. So when it came to having the opportunity to buy the record label, they went to that family reunion fund to get the money to be able to fund purchasing that record label to create Motown. And so when we have great histories, great things come out in our history. At the root of it is us being able to work together as a collective and a group of people who are very proficient at that. Today, we have DUNAs, unincorporated nonprofit organizations. As of October of 2024, you can establish so that anybody can spring up a protocol that people can contribute to, and all of the people who contribute can put in a vote to manage the funds of that protocol. The same old school as what we used to do off paper, but could possibly lead into conflicts because there's always a central person in control and the lack of transparency. But I think that if we start to use these types of things going forward in the future and teach our people how to use these things for practical things like family reunions or starting family businesses and building trust and investment structures for families to use, that if we start using those things and then teach other people in our community how to, because at the core of it is creating a network of people that come together for a common cause of something that can generate revenue over a long term, right?
Yes.
And having a voice and being able to trust other people, right? And not be afraid. And so a lot of it is being afraid. Lola mentioned earlier about how difficult it is to bring people. And and a lot of it is lack of trust. Trusted people in the past. We've put up person's this or business, or they're going to do this and make all this money and give us all this return. And then we get burned and we don't see that and we don't have that. And then we just develop a sense of apathy where we don't want to be bothered with it anymore. And so we're afraid that those things are going to happen again. So we don't even want to expose ourselves to it. So we can use blockchain technology to help solve those issues. Who are even scared of blockchain technology because most of that is wrought with rug pulls. So I'll take a breather there. I don't know if I'm up to my 5 minutes.
Yes, but definitely fire on that and everything. If I have fire emojis, I can put that in. But definitely, I love what you said. Practical things when we talk about group economics and us coming together as a community, as families. Everybody in here has your own families. I'm not away from saying I even tried it with my family. We started actually having family meetings on a weekly basis or monthly basis and everything. Did they come together? They're not and everything. Did I speak about it? Did I learn about it? Do we have a Facebook group still and everything? And I still share stuff? Yes. From the trust to the family business to just practical things, like you said, we can be doing that, but we can do that in this room. We can do that as a part of what we're doing with CPIN. All this education we're talking about right now is in our CPIN database right now that we're going to share later and everything. And those are the simplistic things of group economics for Black communities. The things that have already been said here from my presentation, from what Jamal said, from what Mike and Lola has said, and to Ms. Teresa said, we can be doing that right now. What Sam said earlier and everything is 19, 18 people inside this room right now. We can start. It's 8:51. We can start tonight by connecting with our family, connecting with somebody in this room, getting on CPIN and joining and learning some of the education, and then applying that application just like Lola said, being intentional applying it. I'm gonna let Lola answer the question that was in the chat. I thought I seen a question.
Oh, let me see. My question is, when I build something, who will use it? I understand how to build AI and talked about it at UCLA in 2023. Then he said, no need to speak. Well, you know what? And that's a great question. And that's why we create communities like CPIN, right? So that there is a group of people, a community that's being fostered, that's being nurtured, that's learning how to work together, because we do have to learn how to work together. And so to Jamal's point, it's not just about us working with us. We do have to know how to play with everybody else. We do have to know how to go outside of the confines of our community to learn how to make money, build blockchain, and do all the rest of those things. But still, what we're going to do going forward as a group, like with CPIN, is put it back into our community. Okay, because a lot of times we go out and we make the money and we go spend it in somebody else's community. Other cultures don't do that, right? They make the money, their dollar circulates in their community for days and months and weeks. Ours is gone before the end of the day, okay? Because we're busy. So it is about us learning how to be grown-ups and how to operate in other venues with people who don't look like us, make money in Africa, make money in Dubai, make money all these different places. We have the opportunity and we have the ability, we have the mind, the capacity to be able to do it. And so I believe that these kind of conversations are the ones we need to have. Organizations like CPIN, and to have leadership and to have support, education, and guidance and community, we can really get to the next level.
So definitely and that's the whole point. I know even Ms. Teresa said it earlier too, and I think maybe Sam and Brandon said so. We have different organizations that, just like CPIN, have group economics already instilled in it. They're already doing collective. It's what we work together to be proficient, to bring us together. Why not bring some of those together? Just like we talked about land buying last week and everything. And I'm a big component of, if this wheel is already good, why are we creating a whole nother wheel? Why not bring that wheel on board with us? Just like an 18-wheeler truck and everything. CPIN can be an 18-wheeler truck, and we can bring multiple groups all together, and we can actually all come together to actually supply the information, supply the structure. We got the Jamal's the marketing guru over here. You know, we got Mike with the economics and stuff like that. We got Sam with the experience and stuff. We got Brandon. He just said he made $1 million. We got blockchain people inside of here. We got all these key parts for this 18-wheeler truck and everything, and bringing all our key parts together, but also there's already groups like Land Buying that have things already together. Why not invest in those and bring them together? Invest in that and bring it here. We could actually having diamonds in the rough all on our own 18-wheeler truck with CPIN and everything. I'm gonna let Mike go ahead and tell us how anybody in here who are not already members of CPIN, how can they join CPIN?
Yeah, so I'm gonna put in the chat the link to the website. It's an invitation only website. And so when you go, you apply, and you can put that you were referred by Michael Evans because you attended one of the Let's Talk discussion groups. And, you know, I get asked a lot, Mike, why did you start CPIN? And so I've been in positions where I've managed, you know, hundreds of millions of dollars for rich white folks. And I've seen how rich white folks become rich and how they stay rich. And now that I understand how the game is played when you have money, it's about creating an infrastructure, because I'm a systems builder, right? It's about creating an infrastructure that allows Black people to pool their money together and to practice cooperative group economics, to take advantage of the type of investment opportunities that rich white folks have that are low risk, high reward opportunities. And so the CPIN is built on 3 pillars. And the 3 pillars are community, a community of like-minded people that practice cooperative group economics, Cooperative group economics is not about one person maximizing their profit. It's about maximizing the benefit to the community that you belong to. The second is education. It's having a well-educated community that understands finance, that understands risk and how to manage that risk so that you can make better, well-informed financial decisions. And then the third are investment opportunities. And this is where we curate specific investment opportunities that are low risk, high reward, where you can, again, pool your money with as little as $100, pull it together into what we call a special purpose vehicle, which is just a legal name for an organization that then becomes the investor to invest in those investment opportunities that you typically wouldn't be eligible for, either because you're not an accredited investor or you don't have enough money.
Bam.
Right?
Oh, sorry.
And so that's what the CPN infrastructure is about. We're just rolling it out. Membership currently is free, but once this thing starts going, we're going to have different tiers of membership, which will give you different access. And so we encourage everyone to join the CPIN through the link. And we have to be strategic about this game that we're playing in rebuilding the Black community. There is systemic racism out there. There are institutions, our federal institutions are set up to keep us where we are at as consumers. African Americans spend more than $1.7 trillion a year. If we were a separate nation, we'd be the 10th largest nation in the world when it comes to spending. Yet less than 2% are spent with Black businesses. We need to change that, okay? We need to recycle the Black dollar. We need to be strategic in the way that we invest. We need to create businesses that cater to other cultures so that we can bring money out of their cultures into our culture, right? What they've been doing to us for the last 50 years. And this is where technology, blockchain, AI, Bitcoin, we have to become experts. And probably the next discussion that we'll have is how AI will allow us to do that. How AI allows businesses to go from idea to implementation in weeks instead of months. And the cost comes down considerably. So with that, Antoine and Lola, I'll let you guys have the last word.
Well, I wanted to just say for CPIN, just so off the presses, this month of July, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna be looking for some ambassadors. You got some skill sets on there and everything. Just like Jamal said, everybody can't rock with us, but that's okay. If you got the skill set, we're looking for you. And so we're also gonna be bringing together an advisory group. We're looking for some skilled, educated Black people who'll be on our advisory team. We're going to have 2 different advisory teams. Some of y'all will be helping with the whole umbrella. Some of y'all already are members and stuff. And so then we're going to have some skilled ambassadors to help us to build this business. Group economics. This company, this organization that Mike put together, his whole vision is built on group economics. So let's go ahead and do this together. That's my last words.
Lola, you want to take us out?
Yeah, I mean, everything that needs to be said has already been said. So I'm going to say thank you for everybody for getting on. You all hear the point. It's about group economics. Come back next Sunday. And sounds like we might be having a discussion about how AI can help us like leapfrog when it comes to our businesses and the things we're trying to accomplish and do things much faster, much more efficient. Thanks for joining us tonight. And we will see you again next week. And bring some friends. Bring your cousin and your sister and them. Everybody to the next session that we have in them. Everybody next week. All right. Y'all have a good night. Take care. Good night, you guys.
All right, everybody.
Good night. All right. Good night, everyone.
Stay blessed.
Bless. Take care. Have a good one.